Hello boys and girls, welcome back to another English language lesson for grade 7. And today we want to take a look at verbs. Now verbs are referred to as action words, though not all verbs show action. Words which show action are called doing words. And this is a very important point to note. A lot of times we think that once we talk about verbs, it's only action words, and that is not necessarily so. Some verbs show action, whereas some verbs do not. Now let's look at a few examples. He laughs uncontrollably. He laughs uncontrollably. Now that's an action. We can see somebody laughing, right? 2. The farmer planted 3 rows of peppers. The farmer planted 3 rows of peppers. So we can actually see a farmer planting 3 rows of peppers. And example 3, he drives too fast. He drives too fast. Now we can actually see someone driving. So in this case, we have 3 examples of doing words. Let's continue. Not all verbs show action. Say that to yourself. Not all verbs show action. Once again, not all verbs show action. Some verbs express a state of being. Some verbs express a state of being. 2. These verbs do not show action. These verbs do not show action. 3. They are called non-action verbs. What are they called? Non-action verbs. Non-action verbs help to form statements. They help to form statements. Next. The verbs to be and to have help form statements. The verbs to be and to have help form statements. And verbs can be used as non-action verbs when followed by adjective. And this is a very important point. Let's go it again. Verbs can be used as non-action verbs when followed by adjectives. Let's go. Now let's look at some examples. Seems, smell, look, taste, appear, feel, and become. The bread appears to be stale. The bread appears to be stale. In this case, does this verb show an action? No, so it's a non-action verb. The curtain looks stylish. The curtain looks stylish. Is looks a non-action verb? Yes, it is. The fruit punch tastes refreshing. The fruit punch tastes refreshing. Non-action verb. That menu smells appetizing. That menu smells appetizing. So here we have examples of non-action verbs. Now let's look at some conjugation of verbs. Now when I say conjugation, you probably ask yourself, what is Sir talking about? I don't understand. Now to conjugate a verb means to state its part. That's all it is. So to conjugate a verb, it means to state its parts. Now let's look at the conjugation of the verb to be. Are you ready? So we have present tense, past tense, and then we're going to go through the varieties. We have the first person singular. I am, past tense, I was. Second person singular. You are, past tense, you were. Third person singular. He, she, it is. In the past tense, he, she, it was. First person plural. We are, past tense, we were. Second person plural. You are, in the past tense, you were. Third person plural. They are, in the past tense, they were. Now let's look at the conjugation of another verb. To have. Are you ready? So once again, we have a similar table. First person singular. I have, in the past tense, I had. Second person singular, you have, in the past tense, you had. Third person singular, he, she, it has, past tense, he, she, it had. First person plural, we have, in the past tense, we had. Second person plural, you have, and in the past tense, you had. Third person plural, they have, past tense, they had. All right? So the conjugation is very simple. And remember, when we conjugate, we're putting it into its parts. Now, let's look at the instructions. We are going to underline the verbs in the sentences below and state whether they are action or non-action verbs. Let's go to the instructions again. Underline the verbs in the sentences below and state whether they are action or non-action verbs. She has only 2 friends. She has only 2 friends. What is the answer? Has. So the verb there is has, and it is a non-action verb. Are you with me? Let's continue. Number 2. Soldiers launch the cannon in defense of their country. Soldiers launch the cannon in defense of their country. What is the verb? Launched. And in this case, launch is an action verb. It is an action verb. Let's continue. It is a wonderful day. It is a wonderful day. What is the answer? Is. So the verb is, and it is a non-action verb. So the verb is a non-action verb. Let's continue. Number 4. The tourists snapped photos of historical places on the island. The tourists snapped photos of historical places on the island. What is the answer? Snapped. And we have an action verb. We can actually see somebody snapping a picture. Number 5. The boys had piano practice at 5 o'clock. The boys had piano practice at 5 o'clock. What is the answer? Had. And had is a non-action verb. Number 6. He looks charming in his graduation suit. He looks charming in his graduation suit. What is the answer? Looks. The verb looks. And it is a non-action verb. It is a what? Non-action verb. Number 7. Mother prepared a delicious breakfast this morning. Mother prepared a delicious breakfast this morning. What is the answer? Prepared. And we have an action verb. What do we have? An action verb. We're working nicely. Number 8. The squirrel climbed to the top of the tree. The squirrel climbed to the top of the tree. What is the answer? Climbed. And we have an action verb. Because we can actually see somebody climbing up a tree. In this case, we can see the squirrel climbing up the tree. Number 9. This appears to be the incorrect listing of students. This appears to be the incorrect listing of students. What is the answer? Appears, and we have a non-action verb. Appears, and we have a non-action verb. And finally, number 10. The thief crawl steadily in the dark. The thief crawl steadily in the dark. What is the answer? Crawled, and we have an action verb. Now, once again, I just want to thank you for participating in today's class. I always love being here, teaching all of you wonderful boys and girls. Until we meet again, I'm Sir Jared, and I'm out.